down the facts behind nature's most intense moments. If you found this video helpful,
Beijing, a city known for its grand avenues and towering skylines, has been brought to its knees by forces beyond human control. In late August, between the 28th and 29th, relentless skies opened over the Chinese capital, unleashing torrents of rain that pounded the city without mercy. The downpour was not just a storm, it was a siege. Rivers swelled like beasts unchained. Drainage systems collapsed under the weight of water, and whole neighborhoods were swallowed in a matter of hours. What began as rain turned into a disaster that has scarred Beijing's heart and outskirts alike. For days, the skies refused to relent. Meteorological stations reported rainfall levels far beyond the August norm, shattering records and overwhelming the fragile balance between nature and human defenses. Narrow streams transformed into raging torrents, carving through suburban landscapes with ferocious speed. Flash floods surged into residential streets, tearing through vehicles and leaving businesses buried under layers of mud and debris. What was once bustling urban order descended into chaos, marked by the sound of rushing water and the silence of communities left stranded. In Menugu, to the west of the city center, hillsides saturated with rain gave way. Landslides roared down slopes, burying roads and cutting off access to entire neighborhoods. Rescue crews fought not just the flood, but the very earth beneath their feet, slowed by collapsed highways and blocked passages. Dozens of vital roadways, including lifelines connecting small towns to Beijing's inner arteries, were rendered impassable. Menugu was not alone. In Fangshan, a sharp midnight surge turned low-lying districts into lakes. Within hours, thousands of families found themselves climbing toward higher ground, clutching children, possessions, and the hope of safety as their homes vanished under rising water. Further east, Tongzhou, Beijing's modern subset, a symbol of the capital's rapid development, was not spared. Its freshly built residential blocks and industrial parks lay submerged, their progress drowned in brown floodwater. And beyond the city, the catastrophe stretched its hand into the farmlands. Thousands of new and agricultural land disappeared beneath the deluge. Cornfields lay flattened. Vegetable plots dissolved into mud. Orchards that promised abundance just weeks before harvest were erased overnight. In Daxing and Shunyi, farmers stood helpless, watching their livestock pens collapse and irrigation systems disappear under surging currents. For them, it was not simply property lost, but years of sweat and survival washed away in a single storm. Along the Yongding River and its smaller tributaries, waters climbed with terrifying speed. Bridges buckled under the strain, some vanishing entirely, cutting off hillside villages from the outside world. Rescue teams, firefighters, soldiers, volunteers labored in the dark, carrying supplies across makeshift crossings, piloting boats through violent currents, even dispatching drones to deliver food where no human could reach. Every effort was a race against time, as upstream inflows from Hebei province threatened to push rivers higher still. In central Beijing, where skyscrapers and concrete sprawl dominate the horizon, the disaster was no less brutal. Districts such as Xicheng and Chaoyang were transformed into rivers, underpasses filled to chest height, trapping vehicles that bobbed helplessly before colliding with barriers. Buses stood abandoned, private cars piled like broken toys. Public transportation ground to a halt. On the ground floors of high-rise housing complexes, families were forced to abandon their belongings as floodwater surged through corridors and courtyards. Inflatable boats and heavy-duty rescue vehicles became lifelines, ferrying stranded residents to safety while the water kept rising. More than 20,000 residents have now been evacuated from danger zones, their lives abruptly shifted into shelters. Schools, gymnasiums, and government halls have been converted into havens of survival. Inside, rows of cots line the floors. Red Cross workers and local volunteers distributing bottled water, packaged meals, and blankets. For children, the shelter is both a refuge and a reminder of the unknown that waits beyond its doors. Cities, including the elderly, it is another chapter of endurance in a lifetime of upheaval. The response has been immense. Military convoys rumble into affected zones, unloading sandbags and metal barriers to strengthen weakened riverbanks. Civilian rescue groups clear roads, removing debris that once belonged to someone's home or livelihood. By day, bulldozers scrape away mud and rubble. By night, The glow of emergency lights reflects on waterlogged streets as rescue workers labor without pause. This is not just a battle against water, but against despair. Yet the destruction is staggering. Preliminary assessments confirm severe losses. Homes reduced to shells, schools damaged, bridges fractured, and farmland erased. The rebuilding will not be swift. It will take months, perhaps longer, to restore what the floods have stolen. But even as the waters recede, the scars remain etched into the land and in the minds of those who lived through it. Beijing now stands at a crossroads. The city that has survived dynasties, wars, and revolutions must once again gather its strength to endure a natural calamity of historic proportions. The challenges ahead are immense: restoring livelihoods, rebuilding infrastructure, and confronting the vulnerability exposed by this disaster. But amid the wreckage, resilience flickers. Neighbors carry one another through the currents. Strangers share food and shelters. Volunteers, exhausted and mud-splattered, smile at children even as exhaustion weighs on their faces. This storm has proven one truth: the power of nature dwarfs even the greatest of cities. But it has also revealed the unyielding spirit of a people determined not to surrender. Beijing will rebuild, brick by brick, harvest by harvest. Yet the memory of those nights, when the sky opened and the city drowned, will remain a warning of fragility in the face of nature's wrath, and a testament to the courage of those who endured. Nature reminds us how fragile our cities really are. Beijing's flood was both destruction and revelation, rivers tearing through homes, yet neighbors saving neighbors. It's like watching a chessboard collapse, but noticing how some pieces still stand, protecting others. There's pain, yes, but also proof of resilience. And maybe that's the lesson. We can't control the storm, but we can prepare, adapt, and protect each other. Floods don't just wash away walls, they wash away illusions of safety, forcing us to see what matters most. What do you think? Is this disaster a warning we're ready to heed, or will history repeat itself? Thank you for staying with me through this story. I'd love to hear your thoughts below what struck you most. Or, if you're not sure what to say, just leave comment number 1 to let me know you're here. Your voice keeps these conversations alive. Flood control info. Damage.